In this debate has gone about trying to draw a line, and we will accept there is some line that we need to have between security and people having access to the games. Because ultimately, if you wanted only security, the best way to go about that would build a big cage around Stratford, make sure that everyone was naked and swept and searched before they went in. No one has said that in this debate. What they have said on side proposition is they want suspension of habeas corpus, they want snipers on rooftops, they want lots of stop and search powers for the policing. What we said on opposition on this side of the debate is we said these kind of things probably aren't necessary, and more than that, will cause a much more longer-term damage to the environment, to the legacy of the Olympic Games than any form of terrorist attack ever would. So I'm going to just look at two things. I'm going to look at terrorism and the elusive threat of terrorism. And then I'm going to look at this idea of a legacy, because I think that's where the main contention comes from. But firstly even, I just want to do a little bit of rebuttal. I just want to look at this idea, in order to stop the escalation of long-term security and all of the bad things that come from long-term security, side proposition propose increasing security, increasing the powers of police. And what we say on side opposition, people don't like to give up the powers once they've got them. We say it's very hard to then dial it back. What we say on our side is there may, in a very, very unlikely scenario, be a terrorist attack, and that will increase the security costs in the long term. We say we probably shouldn't do it to such an extent that you saw post 9/11 in the USA. We definitely don't think you should have TSA agents at securities patting down kids, and we're perfectly happy to say we won't have that even if there is a terrorist attack on the games. So firstly, number one contention, can terrorism be stopped? Firstly, assuming that it is going to happen, we say that the reason we remember terrorist attacks is because they are such an exceptional event, ladies and gentlemen. They don't happen every single day. They happen every 10, 12 years. So yes, they are a massive publicity event. But as James has already brought to you, so are terrorist attacks, ladies and gentlemen. They don't need an extra level of publicity. They can generate their own publicity. And then we've had my entire BOI, which no one seemed to understand because I made it really, really strangely and oddly, about the Titanic. The point of the Titanic was that people thought it was unsinkable, ladies and gentlemen. The reason they built 15 holes is they thought nothing could stop it. Strangely enough, after having sat through a 4-hour James Cameron epic, something did stop the Titanic and everyone was wrong. What we say is no matter what they want to do on side proposition, unless they want my naked Olympic Games idea in a cage, it's not going to stop a terrorist activity. Why do you say this is the case? Because terrorists have the opportunity to be secretive. They don't have to be open about what kind of methods are in place, ladies and gentlemen. They can go up and say, oh, so you're going to have them up there, there, and there. And they can plan their way around what's going on. And we say, that's a massive advantage, that the only way you combat is with a steel cage. So, go ahead, Tito.
Okay, so following the day of the terrorist attack on the Olympic Games, when the government hasn't implemented security measures as people think it ought to, how does the Daily Mail spin this?
Probably the same way the Daily Mail spin every single story ever, in that the only people welcome in Britain are the people who are natively British. The kind of Daily Mail we don't really care about, we don't care about the Daily Mail readers either, ladies and gentlemen. Because what we say is, under their logic, anything that happens within the United Kingdom is a threat from terrorism. So therefore we should ramp up security to such a massive extent, because this kind of legacy can be portrayed from any form of event, ladies and gentlemen. But more than this, what do we think is the legacy of a terrorist attack actually being occurred? We don't think it's going to reflect that negatively on the policing or the security around it. What we think the legacy actually is, with regards to Munich in '82, is that terrorists are a bit of dicks, really, aren't they? They tend to like spoiling things. We think that's what people remember. They don't remember the kind of other problems with it. The other legacy, the other problem with their side, is the legacy that we leave when we suspend habeas corpus, when we suspend individuals' rights for this kind of exceptional event. Firstly, you allow the precedent of allowing anyone to say, oh, it's an exceptional event, we can suspend it here as well. And we say that could be applied to FA Cups. We say that could be applied to just a local town council meeting. We say that's an exceptional event. And more than this, looking back at that, how does that look as a Western liberal democracy, where we say, right, these are the things you should value, these are the things you should hold dear. These are the kind of rights which we have based our society around. But a small group of people can say that these rights are no longer valid because some people want to play football. We say, On our side, these rights are far more important to hold up, to say, like, you have this right to do it whenever you want. And at the point at which you're no longer allowed to protest, you're no longer allowed free speech, you're no longer allowed access to a public community in order to say these kind of things, we think that's a cost far too high to pay. And with that, I beg you to oppose.